I'm Eric Sorensen, and this is the West Block, Politics, Perspectives, and Players. Our ears are attuned to the discord on Parliament Hill, but in this week's installment of Hill Hobbies, we found harmony in the music of melodious MP Marco Mendicino. Marco.
Eric.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Sounds great.
Just warming up.
What does it feel like to kind of sit down and have this in front of you?
I feel at home. I feel centered. There's a special place in me, I think, for piano and for music. So when I sit down at the piano, I kind of feel like I'm getting back in tune with myself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, it reminded me, like sometimes I have a baseball and I'll pick it up and it just transports me back to when I was young, the feel of it, the strings, etc. And I had that sense that as you stepped up, it was like, ah, yes, I can be transported to this world that I love.
Absolutely, and you know, work can be tough and it can be challenging, and it's in those moments where I come back to piano and I come back to music. And you're absolutely right. I find myself kind of doing the same routine. I sit down, I'll open up the piano and close my eyes and just play what's on my mind. Sometimes that's classical, sometimes that's Bach. I like to play Bach when, you know, I'm working problems out in my head. Bach is very mathematical. You know, his fugues are very structured. It's funny, when I was younger, Beethoven really appealed to me a lot more because of his emotional grab of the audience and the listener. And as I have made my way through different stages of life, I have found myself drawn more to Bach. You know, I've been playing a lot of Disney these days because my daughters are, it's funny, they're picking up some of the piano through ear. Four years ago, it was Frozen, which was the big movie of the day, but so, you know, I don't know if I can still.
And can you tell if they are being drawn to the piano because of what you're able to do with it?
Well, I think they're drawn to the piano because of the music that they recognize.
But there must be something that they're also seeing Dad doing something pretty interesting looking.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of that. Although I got to tell you, I think as they're getting older, I'm getting less and less cool. Like there's so like it's almost like I'm a jukebox, and when they want me to play, then I play, and when they want me to just go away, I'm sort of told, okay, Dad, like that's enough.
Do you remember when you first saw a piano?
I think I used to drive my parents crazy because I would drive, I probably still do a little bit, but I used to sing in the back seat of the car, and I think they recognized that I had pitch and tune. Yes. And my mom, who liked to sing as well when she was young, I think immediately recognized that I might be good at an instrument. And she just said, you know, would you be interested in playing piano? And without skipping a beat, I said yes. So I started taking piano lessons when I was about 4 or 5, and I think that they could see that like a sponge I was taking the lessons well, and then that's what brought me here. That's what brought me to the choir school. You had to audition, you had to be tested, and so I spent a good chunk of my childhood right in this building here, and it is a bit of a time warp, but it's also really neat to come back to this space because piano has been with me and music has been with me for just about all of my life.
Most of us are used to just going to a elementary school, and it's pretty standard in a classroom. How different an experience was it for you to be taught here?
Well, first of all, music is completely integrated into the curriculum. So you take piano lessons at least twice a week. You practice choral every day. You had to learn how to be disciplined about it. That learning a complex piece classical piece required diligence, and it required effort, it required mental focus. And some of those skills have been very transferable into other walks of life in my career as a lawyer and now as a member of parliament. And so, you know, overcoming some of the fears of performing in front of people, which I had to do when I was at the choir school, is something that I think has helped instill some confidence in me as time has gone on. And just, you know, music, people relate to music. People, you know, I've met very few people in my life who for whom, you know, music does not resonate.
Is there anything about the discord that you hear in Parliament and how that's so out of sync with what you do at the piano? Or do you feel that it's not relatable?
Well, I think, you know, if there's one thing that tends to help bridge partisan divide, it's music. And, you know, I've actually participated in some fundraising efforts with my friends across the aisle. And that's really when I'm having the most fun, is when we all get to sort of put away the sort of adversarialness and just kind of remember that we're all here to achieve the same thing, which is to build a better country.
Is it for you when you're playing in front of other people? Is it about the music, or is there an entertaining thing that you like to enthrall people?
I think yes. I mean, it's taken some time for me to get to that stage. I think initially music was actually a pretty individual thing for me. Over time, I think it's become as equally about performing for others. I still get anxious. Like I'm anxious, you know, having to do this in front of some cameras and in front of you, to be honest. But
Me too. Which fingers for this note? Middle finger, first finger?
You can use your middle finger. Yeah. So.
You sure? Yeah.
Want to try that? Sorry, just take it.
Okay, I get up to here, and then I got to switch to the middle again.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. And then just follow your fingers. There you go. You ready?
Yeah, maybe.
You're going to do great. You got this. You got it. Yay, way to go.
How much do you play now? Do you get the chance?
I try to play as often as I can, and it will really depend on the day. But when I'm in Ottawa, I am fortunate in that there's a hotel that I stay at, and there's a piano there, and they're fantastic. They let me play it whenever I want, and it's usually like late at night. It's usually 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and I'll just go up there and I will play for a half hour or sometimes 2 hours. And
really?
Yeah, and I'll just keep playing and playing until I kind of feel back in tune.
And you look over your shoulder and discover people have gathered?
That has happened on occasion, much to my surprise. But there have been a couple of occasions where colleagues have managed to track me down, and it's fine. I mean, I enjoy playing with them, but it's kind of like this little space that I try to reserve for myself. So some other pieces that I know folks like when my friends say, "Well, what can you play Elton John?" Like one piece I know that
I like Elton John.
People like is Tiny Dancer. So. We've had some sing-alongs.
Well, I envy you that you have this, because it's a lifelong thing. You know, some of the pursuits you have, if you're like at sports or what have you, you kind of lose some of that. But this is staying with you, and it feels like it's something that will be with you forever.
Yeah, and now you and I will have this interview forever and duetting a little Heart and Soul.
That's
so
right.
You get to take this little piece.
I'm going to take lessons
with you.
now.
You should. You'd be great at it. You'd be great.